Every step you take, no matter how small, carries weight in the grand scheme of your life. Too often, we underestimate the power of a simple choice, a word spoken, a task completed, a decision delayed. But God is watching. Every action, every hesitation, and every effort matters. What seems like a trivial step today can determine the course of your future tomorrow. Your daily habits, your small victories, and even your quiet moments of discipline are all noticed. This is not to intimidate you, but to awaken you, to remind you that nothing in your life is too small to be insignificant in the eyes of the Creator. Intentions shape outcomes as much as actions do. You may work hard, pursue goals, or strive to help others, but what drives your effort will define its impact. God observes not only what you do, but why you do it. When your motives are pure, your steps align with a greater purpose. When they are selfish or reckless, consequences follow. This awareness should not paralyze you, but encourage mindfulness in every decision. Reflecting on your motives allows you to course correct before wrong turns become setbacks. Preparation is key. Opportunities rarely announce themselves with a trumpet. They often appear quietly, demanding readiness. Spiritual, mental, and emotional preparedness ensures you do not miss the doors God is opening for you. Readiness requires consistency, a life cultivated with discipline, prayer, and conscious action invites God's guidance into every step. Being vigilant means you're attentive to possibilities. So when the right opportunity arrives, you are not scrambling. You are ready to walk through it confidently. Complacency is dangerous. Waiting passively for life to change, for success to come, or for someone else to act, risks squandering time and blessings. God observes your inaction as much as your efforts. Procrastination, fear, and hesitation are barriers that can prevent you from fulfilling your purpose. The reality is that opportunities pass, and time moves forward regardless of our readiness. The lesson is simple: act now, even imperfectly, rather than wait indefinitely for the perfect moment. Faith is powerful, but it must be paired with responsibility. Belief in God's plan is not an excuse for inactivity. Steps guided by faith are deliberate and informed, motivated by both trust and effort. God watches not only the depth of your faith, but also how you translate that faith into tangible action. Prayer without preparation, hope without planning, and belief without discipline often leads to frustration. True faith manifests in concrete steps, steps that are visible to the world and noticed by the divine. Finally, reflection is essential. Life provides signs, nudges, and gentle corrections, moments that alert you when you are off track. God is watching, not to punish, but to guide. Learning from mistakes, adapting your approach, and embracing feedback ensures that each next step is wiser than the last. A thoughtful, reflective life is one that grows in alignment with purpose, faith, and destiny. Each step becomes intentional, each decision informed, and each moment meaningful. Remember, January 22 is more than a date. It is a reminder that your journey is observed, and your future is shaped by the steps you take today. Walk carefully, act intentionally, and live deliberately. God is watching, and every step matters. Every step you take in life, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, carries weight and consequences far beyond what the eye can see. Too often, people underestimate the power of the choices they make daily. Waking up 5 minutes earlier to prepare for your day, deciding to speak words of encouragement instead of criticism, or choosing integrity in moments when dishonesty seems easier. These are small actions, yet they ripple through your life and the lives of those around you. God is watching every action because nothing in your life is too trivial to escape His notice. Every decision, every movement, every gesture communicates something about who you are and what you value. And these small choices accumulate over time to either build a life of purpose or dismantle it. The reality is that what might appear to be a minor action today can become the defining moment of your future tomorrow. You may brush off simple habits, dismiss tiny opportunities, or ignore small chances to do good, thinking they don't matter, but in truth, these moments shape your character, your destiny, and your influence on the world. God notices the consistency of your actions, the intention behind them, and the courage it takes to choose rightly when it is inconvenient or uncomfortable. Inaction itself is a choice, and even the decision to remain passive or indifferent is observed. Life is not a series of grand gestures alone. It is built in the quiet, daily choices that reflect discipline, integrity, and faithfulness. When you take your responsibilities seriously, even in the smallest areas, God honors that diligence, and doors begin to open in ways you could not anticipate. Conversely, neglecting small matters often leads to larger problems that could have been avoided. Consider the way habits compound over time. A small act of patience repeated daily develops into a character of perseverance. A single act of kindness can inspire a chain reaction of generosity, and a moment of self-control repeated consistently transforms into mastery over impulses. The principle is simple yet profound. The cumulative effect of your small actions defines the trajectory of your life. Even when no one else is watching, God is observing, and your life is never hidden from divine scrutiny. This should not lead to fear, but rather to a heightened sense of awareness and responsibility. Recognizing that every action counts encourages you to live intentionally, to consider the outcomes of your choices, and to act with foresight and courage. It also reminds you that greatness is not always the result of dramatic, headline-making moments, but often emerges from faithfulness in ordinary, everyday situations. The person who faithfully does what is right when no one notices is laying a foundation for blessings, opportunities, and spiritual growth that may not be immediately visible, but will manifest in time. Life rewards consistency, diligence, and integrity, even in seemingly inconsequential matters. Moreover, understanding that God watches your actions helps you to cultivate accountability. When you internalize the awareness that your steps are observed, you are less likely to compromise your values, more likely to choose honesty over convenience, and more inclined to pursue excellence in everything you do. This awareness also fosters humility, as you recognize that your accomplishments and successes are not solely the product of chance, luck, or human effort, but are influenced by divine oversight and guidance responding to your conscientious actions. Importantly, every action you take also affects those around you, creating a ripple effect that can influence families, communities, and even generations to come. Small acts of integrity inspire trust, minor sacrifices encourage gratitude, and tiny moments of courage ignite boldness in others. God's observation is not limited to the impact on your own life. It extends to the broader influence your steps have on the world. Therefore, it becomes crucial to act with intention, mindfulness, and purpose. The small actions you perform daily are not meaningless. They are seeds planted in the soil of your life that will yield fruits in time. Every choice matters. Choosing love over anger, diligence over laziness, honesty over deception, and action over passivity. Recognizing that God notices, each of these steps empowers you to live deliberately and encourages a mindset where no action is considered too small to matter. By embracing the principle that every step counts, you align your life with purpose, increase your capacity for growth, and open yourself to opportunities that reflect the careful, intentional life God desires for you. Intentions are the invisible force behind every action, the silent compass that directs your steps even when the world cannot see. It is not merely what you do that carries significance, but why you do it. God watches the motives behind your choices as closely as He observes your actions. You may perform the right deeds, achieve successes, or follow the correct path outwardly, yet if your heart is divided, selfish, or filled with pride, the impact of those actions is diminished. Conversely, an action that appears small, insignificant, or even unnoticed can have tremendous value when it is motivated by pure intentions. Understanding that intentions matter changes the way you approach life. It compels you to look beyond surface, level results, and examine the deeper meaning behind your choices. For instance, giving to others can be seen as an act of generosity, but when the intention is to gain recognition, approval, or personal advantage, the spiritual and moral value of that act is compromised. On the other hand, an act of kindness done quietly, without expectation, carries a weight far greater than any public display of charity. God recognizes the difference because He sees not just the action, but the heart that drives it. Intentions are the lens through which every experience is measured. They determine whether a sacrifice is genuine, whether a decision is righteous, and whether an effort will bear the fruit it was meant to produce. This principle is critical in all areas of life, from relationships and career to personal growth and spiritual development. When your intentions align with integrity, humility, and purpose, your steps are blessed, even if the outcomes are not immediately visible. Conversely, actions driven by impatience, envy, or selfish gain may produce temporary results, but they often lead to consequences that undermine long-term success and fulfillment. Being mindful of intentions encourages self-reflection. It pushes you to pause before acting, to ask yourself why you are making a particular choice, and to consider the impact not only on yourself, but on others. It fosters a consciousness that every decision, even the smallest, is part of a larger moral and spiritual equation. When you cultivate pure intentions, your life gains clarity and your actions gain authenticity. People can sense sincerity, even when words fail. Actions guided by genuine motives inspire trust, respect, and admiration, while those driven by hidden agendas or ulterior motives often result in mistrust, conflict, or disappointment. Furthermore, intentions shape habits and character over time. Repeated actions performed with integrity build a character that is resilient, trustworthy, and respected. Repeated actions performed with hidden or harmful motives cultivate a character that is fragile, conflicted, and ultimately self-defeating. Recognizing that intentions matter transforms the way you measure success. True success is not only in external achievements, but in alignment between heart, mind, and action. It is the congruence of purpose and behavior, the harmony of doing what is right for the right reasons, and the commitment to live with integrity, even when no one is watching. Intentions also influence spiritual growth. God observes the sincerity of your faith, the humility of your heart, and the motivations behind your prayers, service, and devotion. When intentions are pure, divine guidance and blessings are more likely to manifest. When intentions are tainted by selfishness, pride, or deception, even the most outwardly righteous actions may fall short of their true potential. The practical application of this principle requires honesty, reflection, and discipline. It requires you to examine your thoughts and motives regularly, to question whether your actions serve a higher purpose or merely your immediate desires, and to recalibrate your life when misaligned. Being intentional is not about perfection, but about striving to act from a place of awareness and integrity. Every decision, from the way you speak to your loved ones to how you conduct yourself in professional settings, carries moral weight when driven by intention. It is the intentional choice to act with love, patience, humility, and responsibility that transforms ordinary actions into powerful steps toward a purposeful life. Ultimately, understanding that intentions matter empowers you to take responsibility for your life at its deepest level. You begin to see that God is watching not only what you do, but why you do it, and that your inner life, the motives, desires, and intentions you cultivate, is just as important as your external achievements. Living with awareness of your intentions elevates every step you take, encourages ethical decision-making, and aligns your life with purpose, ensuring that your actions, big or small, are infused with meaning and integrity. Preparation is the bridge between your present circumstances and the opportunities that lie ahead, and it is one of the most overlooked aspects of success. Many people wait for opportunities to come to them as if life will suddenly deliver blessings without effort or foresight. But God watches those who are prepared to receive what He has in store. Opportunities rarely announce themselves with fanfare. They appear quietly, often requiring discernment, readiness, and courage to recognize and embrace them. Being prepared is not just about having skills or knowledge. It is about cultivating the right mindset, developing discipline, and positioning yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to respond effectively when the moment arrives. When you consistently invest in preparation, you are essentially planting seeds in anticipation of the harvest. Every hour spent learning, every challenge overcome, every small effort to improve yourself contributes to the readiness required to seize opportunities when they present themselves. God observes not just your talents, but your willingness to sharpen them, your commitment to growth, and your diligence in making yourself capable of handling what is ahead. Preparation transforms ordinary people into extraordinary achievers because it ensures that when opportunity knocks, they do not hesitate, falter, or feel unworthy. Instead, they step forward with confidence and competence. In many cases, people fail not because opportunities are scarce, but because they are not prepared to meet them. Time is relentless and chances are fleeting. When doors open, hesitation can result in regret. God's watchful eye is on your readiness, on whether you are taking deliberate steps to become the person capable of fulfilling the purpose set before you. Preparation also involves understanding timing. Being ready does not mean rushing recklessly or forcing outcomes, but rather aligning your efforts with the right season, the right environment, and the right mindset. It is about being attentive to the signs, learning from past experiences, and developing the patience to act decisively when the circumstances are favorable. Many people fail to achieve their potential because they ignore this principle. They attempt to leap into opportunities unprepared, expecting results without the foundation necessary to support them. Preparation is not a passive process. It requires consistent, intentional action. It involves studying, practicing, refining your abilities, seeking guidance, and cultivating resilience. It demands that you confront weaknesses, correct mistakes, and learn from failures, understanding that each step taken toward improvement strengthens your capacity to succeed when opportunity arises. Furthermore, preparation is deeply tied to character. God does not just provide opportunities to those who are capable, but also to those who are trustworthy, disciplined, and resilient. Preparing yourself spiritually and morally ensures that when you are given responsibility or a chance to advance, you can handle it with integrity and wisdom. The person who prepares is not simply accumulating knowledge or skills. They are developing judgment, patience, and the ability to act decisively under pressure. Opportunity favors those who are ready, but readiness requires sacrifice. It demands time, effort, focus, and sometimes stepping outside of comfort zones. While others procrastinate, complain, or wait passively, prepared individuals invest in themselves and their vision. God observes these efforts and rewards them, not always immediately, but in due season, often in ways that surpass expectation. Another aspect of preparation is mental and emotional readiness. Opportunities often test your resolve, your confidence, and your resilience. Preparing your mind to handle challenges, your emotions to maintain composure, and your spirit to persevere under pressure ensures that when opportunity appears, you respond wisely rather than react impulsively. Without preparation, even the most promising opportunity can become a moment of failure, disappointment, or regret. Conversely, thorough preparation maximizes the potential of every chance you receive, allowing you to turn possibilities into achievements, ideas into realities, and dreams into tangible outcomes. Preparation is not a guarantee of success, but it is the only way to ensure that, when God presents the right moment, you are capable of stepping into it fully. It is the invisible work behind visible results, the effort that transforms potential into reality. Ultimately, the connection between preparation and opportunity demonstrates that your daily actions matter, your efforts are observed, and your future is shaped by the steps you take today to equip yourself. By committing to preparation, you align yourself with God's timing, ensure that you are ready for blessings, and increase your ability to respond to life's pivotal moments with confidence, wisdom, and purpose. Complacency is one of the quietest, but most dangerous obstacles to personal growth and fulfillment. And God observes it just as closely as He observes effort and diligence. It often begins subtly, disguised as comfort, contentment, or patience, convincing you that standing still is acceptable while the world moves forward. Many people fall into the trap of waiting for the perfect moment, believing that circumstances will change on their own, or assuming that opportunities will always be available without action on their part. However, God watches closely those moments of inaction because every delay has consequences, and every opportunity ignored is a potential blessing lost. Life does not pause for indecision, and success does not wait for perfect conditions. It favors those who act with intention, courage, and readiness. Complacency can manifest in many forms: procrastination, excuses, fear of failure, or the mistaken belief that yesterday's achievements are enough to sustain tomorrow's progress. God sees the subtle choices you make daily, whether you choose comfort over growth, routine over challenge, or inaction over courage. And these choices accumulate, shaping the trajectory of your life. Avoiding complacency requires self-awareness and discipline. It calls for an honest assessment of your current habits, priorities, and attitudes, and a willingness to confront areas where you have become too comfortable, too passive, or too reluctant to stretch beyond familiar boundaries. This is not about being anxious or restless. It is about recognizing that growth is a continuous process, that progress requires effort, and that the life you desire demands deliberate steps rather than passive waiting. Every moment of inaction allows opportunities to slip away and challenges to become more difficult. God observes not only your successes, but also your hesitations, knowing that those who refuse to act limit their own potential and hinder the fulfillment of their purpose. Complacency erodes momentum, dulls ambition, and fosters a false sense of security that can be destructive over time. It creates a comfort zone that feels safe, but is actually a cage, limiting your ability to pursue your goals, fulfill your destiny, and respond to God's calling. Overcoming complacency begins with recognizing that waiting passively is itself a choice, and it often carries a greater cost than taking imperfect action. Growth requires courage. The courage to step forward despite uncertainty, to risk failure in pursuit of progress, and to embrace discomfort as a necessary part of development. God rewards those who are proactive, diligent, and willing to stretch beyond their current limitations. Avoiding complacency also involves a mindset shift. It means viewing challenges as opportunities, setbacks as lessons, and every day as a chance to advance toward your purpose. Complacency thrives on stagnation, routine, and the illusion of sufficiency. But awareness and intentionality dismantle these traps. The person who refuses to settle is constantly evaluating their direction, seeking improvement, and taking deliberate steps to elevate themselves spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and practically. Moreover, avoiding complacency requires accountability. Surrounding yourself with people who challenge, inspire, and push you ensures that comfort does not become a substitute for growth. God often places mentors, friends, or situations in your life to nudge you out of stagnation, and responding to these prompts is an act of faith and wisdom. Complacency is also a spiritual test. God watches whether you are actively stewarding your time, talents, and opportunities, or whether you are merely drifting through life, waiting for blessings to appear without effort. The reality is that blessings are often tied to action. Doors open to those who are prepared and willing to step through them, and they remain closed to those who linger in passivity. Avoiding complacency requires daily intentionality. It is cultivated through setting goals, taking consistent steps toward improvement, seeking knowledge, embracing challenges, and refusing to settle for mediocrity. It requires resilience, the ability to persevere when progress seems slow, to take responsibility for your life, and to maintain momentum even when immediate results are not visible. The cost of complacency is high lost potential, unfulfilled dreams, and the quiet regret of knowing you could have done more but chose comfort over courage. Conversely, actively resisting complacency aligns you with purpose, positions you to seize opportunities, and ensures that your life is marked by growth, achievement, and meaningful impact. God is watching every decision you make to either move forward or remain stagnant. Recognizing this encourages vigilance, fosters intentional living, and motivates you to take deliberate steps each day, knowing that complacency is the enemy of progress, and action is the key to realizing your potential.